Hey, so I was watching this YouTube video, one of I Drank the Seawater's videos, which I love her. She's awesome. Anyways, and it's kind of about like people that kind of have like fantasies that they live in, or like they create their own false reality or realities, maybe more than one, where they switch from like actual reality to their reality. It's kind of really hard to explain, but basically, like I've been doing this since I'm gonna say around 7 years old. I've been doing this, and it's to the point where I don't even realize that I'm doing it, or I do, I just don't care that I'm doing it, if that makes sense. Or I never talk about it. I don't think I've ever really talked to people about it, not even like my therapist. Or maybe I've talked briefly about it, but I haven't gone into like much detail with it about it. And I feel like it helps me cope with things that I'm dealing with in my real life, and kind of it fulfills me. Like, it fills certain parts of me and meets certain needs that aren't being met in my real life. So maybe you guys have no idea what I'm talking about. I'll just explain a little bit. So for me, it was kind of like, you know how when you're a kid and you have like an imaginary friend? Well, I still have imaginary friends, basically. But when I was a kid, I had like thousands of imaginary friends. I had a huge circle of imaginary friends, and my best friend, my actual best friend, my real life, living, breathing best friend, at the time when I was a kid, she had imaginary friends too, and we would share some of the same friends, and we would talk to them, and we would all hang out, kind of thing. I remember I had like an imaginary friend I called her like Little Sarah Mouse, and it was like a mouse that was me. And she had a little Destiny mouse because her name was Destiny, and that, yeah, it was like, yeah. And like Darth Vader was one of my imaginary friends because I was obsessed with Star Wars as a kid, and Darth Vader was like kind of like a father figure to me. But my number one imaginary kind of friend was Sabrina the Teenage Witch from the TV show, the animated TV show, like the cartoon one. She was my biggest like imaginary friend. And I remember going home from school every day. It'd be like 4 o'clock. I'd get home, and I'd be like, Sabrina, where are you? I'm home now. And then she'd come out, because, like, yeah. And she'd be like, hey, how was school? Like, let's sit down and watch TV together and talk. And I kind of, like, relied on that for a very long time without realizing I'm not friends with her anymore. Like, she's not one of my imaginary friends anymore, because I'm not really into Sabrina the Teenage Witch anymore. But when I was younger, I was like obsessed, and she was like my best friend who wasn't a real person. But yeah, she was like my best friend. And even thinking about it now, I'm sad that I lost her. I didn't really lose her. I'm just not interested in being friends with her. Like, she's not real. Like, it's a real TV show, but like, I made it. It's so hard. It's so difficult to like put into words. But so having imaginary friends and like actually having your own fantasy life, I think, is two different things that kind of intertwine together because it's part of it. So it became more intense for me. Like, I usually, like, I used to make up people, like make them up completely. I used to do that, but with Sabrina the Teenage Witch, it's an actual thing that I'm getting that from, right? So when I got older, I was obsessed with Chris Angel. Like, obsessed with him. And if you don't know who Chris Angel is, he's just YouTube him or Google him or whatever. He's an illusionist and he's friggin' sexy. And I was obsessed with him for years. I have journals of mine that are just filled with everything about him and how I felt about him and blah blah blah. So basically, I pretended that I was with him, like I was in a relationship with him. I think my name was Nicole, because it's my favorite name. And I was someone else. I wasn't myself, which is part of the fantasy thing. I was not myself. But I was the version of myself that, like, I was a certain version of myself. Kind of. Sometimes it would be the version of myself that I would never show other people, that I would show to Chris Angel. My Chris Angel, not the actual Chris Angel. So this fantasy thing, this fantasy life, I'm still kind of, I still do it. And I don't do it as much. It depends. It depends on how busy I am with my life. If I distract myself and do other things and keep myself really occupied, or if I simply am just busy, like with school and everything, I don't really do it as much. But when I'm really lonely and bored, I do still do that. So I will actually talk out loud and move around and like talk to people as if they're right there. But I know that they're not there. Like, I'm not schizophrenic, which there's nothing wrong with being schizophrenic. I'm just saying that I'm not. I know that they're not there, but I pretend that they are there so that I have someone to talk to. Because when my mom wasn't around as much, I think I used that more then because it was a coping mechanism for me, because my mom was a drug addict and she was using at the time, and I was kind of neglected. So I would, I was lonely, so I would have these people. And when I get lonely, like I said, I still do that. And it's not really something that I talk about with people because A, I'm like really embarrassed about it, which I guess is normal. B, it's really hard to explain, as you can see by me like trying to explain it and probably doing a very poor job. And C, because it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't want people to look at me differently because of this. Or like, I guess that goes with being embarrassed. But yeah, it's usually the fantasy thing that I involve myself in with now is from like actual celebrities or people that I admire, or even people in my like everyday life. Like sometimes I'll pretend my therapist is like right over there and I'll be like talking with her. And because I have like a huge crush on my therapist, sometimes I'll pretend that she's my girlfriend or whatever. And I'm like, yeah. It's kind of like those things that like get me through hard times, because I kind of, well, they're one of the things that get me through hard times. I don't really rely on that for everything. I don't think I do that. But like, it's just a way to shut out like the outside world and to just kind of be in my own reality. You know, that's the point of it, is to not be around other people, or not really be around other people as much, or not pay attention to other people. And I'll go through these phases where I don't really like to interact with people sometimes, and sometimes those phases last longer, and sometimes they don't. But that's something that's kind of gotten me through like a lot, just from using my own imagination. And it's not even like, I guess it is my imagination to an extent, but like, I'm not making these people up as much as I used to, because of the fact that I like to have a visual image of them that I don't have to conjure up myself. Because take Criss Angel, for example. I could just watch his videos and I would be like, I don't do this I'm not really obsessed with Criss Angel anymore, but like, I used to watch his like TV show for like 6 hours a day and be totally happy doing that. And then afterwards I would have new material for my alternate fantasy life with being with him. And yeah, I don't know if I explained any of this right, but it is kind of hard to talk about, and it's kind of an awkward topic for me. But like, I kind of thought I was the only person doing this to an extent. Like, I kind of thought, I knew that people have imaginary friends and stuff, but I didn't realize other people had these alternate reality things, lives, that, until I watched I Drank the Seawater's video just now. I was just watching it, and I was just like, oh, that really explains me. Like, that really, I can really relate to that. And because it's just, I think also it's something people that have been diagnosed with social anxiety disorder, like myself, I think that's something that has to do with that, because we're so scared of like socializing with real people that we socialize without really socializing, if that makes sense. We socialize in our own alternate realities, and that kind of fills our needs for socializing, so we don't actually have to socialize. I think, yeah, that has to do with that a lot. Also, like, so I'm not saying that this is like a bad thing, like, to do. I don't know if it's a bad thing. Like, honestly, I guess it's a bad thing if it interferes with your everyday life, which for me it has interfered with my everyday life. In the past it has. I don't think it has anymore as much, or I don't know. But yeah, so yeah. Also, I'm sorry, I have like this major zit on my forehead. I was just too lazy to like cover it up right now, because it's like 2:30 in the morning and I have to get up at 8 o'clock and go to class and stuff. So I'm sorry if this is like really distracting. It's just bad. I have like this problem where I pick everything. So like, I totally picked this really bad. In my ear, I recently like re-pierced it and then took the piercing out, and now there's all this dry skin that I've been like picking at. I don't know if you can see. Obviously, yeah, you can see that. That's why there's like blood. And I've been like picking everything, and it's like, and I have this mole on my over here, and I picked it off, and now it's like right here. See that? and I've been picking my fingers. Right here is pretty bad. You can see that. Yeah, in between my fingers I've been picking. And I have this thing here from my boyfriend biting my lip all the time. I got like a mark. Yeah, a mark. No, yeah, I got like a scab thing. So I've been picking that. And it's like, see? Right there. Right below my lip. So I've been like picking everything. So like, sorry, I look like a mess. But yeah, that was totally nothing to do with what I was just talking about. That was just me apologizing for looking like this. Anyways. So yeah. I'm gonna post more on this topic because I feel like 15 minutes isn't enough time to really talk about this. Like, I feel like I have to do it in different videos. Like, I can't cover this in one video. This is like something that is like a really complicated topic that there's a lot of stuff that has to do with it, and it feels nice to talk about it because it's embarrassing, yeah, but it feels nice to talk about it at the same time because I haven't talked about it. So like, it's kind of nice to get that out there. Anyways, guys, I'm going to watch some more of I Drank the Seawater's videos because I love her. And I have so much in common with her that it's insane. When I was younger, I actually had Tourette's, and she has Tourette's, which is one of the things we have in common. When I was younger, I had it, which I'll post a video about that because I've never talked about that on my channel. Obviously, I don't have Tourette's anymore. So for some people, it goes away. For others, it doesn't. For some, it comes back, it goes away, and comes back. But yeah, that's a completely other topic. Anyways, yeah, I hope everybody's doing good. And I will post another video soon. I'm probably going to post this video tomorrow because, like I said, it's 2:30 in the morning, and if I try to post it now, it's going to take like 3 hours to upload on YouTube. And by then, I'll be sleeping and won't be able to correctly upload it. So I'll probably upload it tomorrow when I'm awake during the day. Anyways, bye guys. Blessed be.